Chosen one, you need to understand this right now. You are standing at a point in history where the battle is no longer just about you. The resistance you feel is not simply opposition, it is generational. It carries the weight of what tried to destroy your parents, your grandparents, and even those whose names you will never know. Some of them fell in the fight. Some surrendered without ever realizing they were in a war. But you were born with an awareness that you could not explain. Something in you always knew that your life would be different. There were moments when you tried to live like everyone else, to fit in, to quiet the voice inside. But it didn't work, did it? The more you tried to blend in, the more the storms found you. The more you sought peace without purpose, the more restless your soul became. That's because you were not sent to survive within the system, you were sent to dismantle it. Listen carefully. Your survival was not the goal, your awakening was. Every attack that should have ended you was allowed to pass over you, not because you were lucky, but because you were necessary. Necessary to end a cycle, necessary to tear down altars that were built long before your time, necessary to speak the truth that no one else dared to say out loud. And yes, you've been misunderstood. People have accused you of being too intense, too withdrawn, too focused, too different. But what they see as different is actually set apart. They can't measure you because you're not walking their path. You're walking a prophetic assignment. And prophetic assignments don't make sense until the moment they are fulfilled. You may not realize it yet, but every injustice you've endured has been training your spirit for divine judgment. Every time you were overlooked, you were being taught how to see what others ignore. Every time you were betrayed, you were learning how to stand without depending on unstable alliances. Every wilderness season was stripping you of attachments that could not survive where God is taking you. This is why the warfare has been strategic. The enemy has been trying to exhaust you before you reach the moment where the curse can be broken. He's tried to make you doubt your identity, your calling, and your authority. He's tried to convince you that what you carry is too heavy, too costly, too lonely to keep going. But you didn't quit, and that's the evidence that you are exactly who God says you are. Chosen one, your endurance is proof of your legitimacy. Heaven does not back counterfeit callings. And the fact that you are still here, still breathing, still believing, still refusing to bow, means that the assignment over your life is still active. The war is not over, but you have already shifted the balance. The enemy's territory is shrinking because you have been standing. And now, the pressure you feel, that's not just attack, that's transition. Heaven is positioning you for the confrontation your spirit was born for. You are about to face what your family could not overcome, and this time, it will fall. You've been wondering why your life seems to be a constant cycle of highs and lows, moments of peace interrupted by waves of conflict. That is not random. It's not because you're cursed. It's because you are confronting the curse. Every battle you've faced has been directly connected to the strongholds assigned to your bloodline. This is why the enemy has targeted you since childhood. The warfare didn't start when you became an adult. It started before you even knew who you were. Every lie whispered into your ear, every betrayal, every loss, it was all designed to break you before you discovered your authority. But what the enemy didn't count on was that you would survive long enough to recognize the pattern. And once you see the pattern, you can break it. That's the power you hold right now. You're no longer stumbling in the dark. You are walking with the light of revelation. That's why things are shifting. That's why people who once walked with you are suddenly uncomfortable around you. That's why doors are closing that you thought would stay open forever. You are being separated for a divine confrontation. Understand this, breaking a generational pattern is not just about refusing to repeat what was done before. It's about uprooting the seed so it can never grow again. This requires courage. This requires endurance. And above all, this requires obedience to the one who sent you. Because the fight you are in is not just about your personal victory. It's about every soul that will come after you. You are the turning point. You are the moment history shifts. What stopped others will stop with you. What destroyed others will not destroy you. And when you stand in that moment of victory, heaven itself will bear witness that the curse has been broken, not by force alone, but by divine authority moving through you. Chosen one, this is not the time to shrink back. This is not the time to question whether you have what it takes. The fact that you are here, listening to these words, is proof that you have already endured the worst of it. What comes next is not survival, it is fulfillment. The assignment that's been breathing in your spirit since the day you were born is about to come into full power. The world may not be ready for what's about to happen through you, but heaven has been waiting for this moment. And when you step into it, you will not be stepping alone. Every angel assigned to your bloodline will be present. Every prayer whispered by those who came before you will echo in your spirit. The hand of the Almighty will steady you, and when you speak, it will not be just your voice. It will be the verdict of heaven itself, declaring, "This ends here." This is your crossing point. The wilderness is behind you. The battlefield is before you. And the moment you take that step forward, you will become the living proof that God chooses the unshakable to break what the world thought was unbreakable. Chosen one, you felt the weight, but now you need to see the signs. Because when you recognize the evidence of your assignment, you stop doubting your purpose and start walking in it with precision. Sign one, you've survived what killed others. Look around your family line. Look at the patterns in your community. Some fell to addiction. Others never healed from betrayal. Some lost their mind under the weight of depression. And yet here you are, bruised, yes, scarred, yes, but alive. Not by chance, by divine preservation. You were kept for the fight they couldn't finish. Sign two, you've always been different, even when you tried to be the same. Remember the times you tried to blend in, to live like everyone else? Somehow it never worked. Your spirit wouldn't settle. Something inside you kept pulling you away from what everyone else called normal. That's because you weren't designed to continue the cycle. You were designed to confront it. Sign three, the resistance increases when you approach breakthrough. Have you noticed that every time you're about to make progress, something tries to pull you back? That's not bad timing. That's warfare. The closer you get to the root, the more violently it tries to defend itself. But understand this, pressure is proof you're in the right place. If you weren't a threat, the enemy wouldn't fight you this hard. Sign four, your calling demands isolation. There were seasons where you begged God to explain why people walked away. You thought it was rejection, but it was actually separation. When God assigns you to end a generational curse, He often removes the noise so you can hear His strategy. Loneliness can be the training ground for destiny. Sign five, you can see the pattern others can't. While others call it bad luck or just how life is, you see the repetition. You see the same struggles showing up in different faces, in different generations. That vision is not for nothing. It's divine intelligence. Heaven shows you what you're called to end. Chosen one, these signs are not random details. They are the proof that your life has been engineered for a mission that scares hell itself. You are the breach in the wall, the interruption in the flow, the unmovable pillar that stops the flood. But hear this, recognition alone is not enough. Many have seen the pattern and still been crushed by it. What separates those who break it from those who repeat it is alignment. You must align yourself with the one who sent you. This is not a battle you fight with human strength. This is a battle fought with the authority of heaven, the strategy of the Spirit, and the endurance of one who knows they are backed by eternity. And that alignment will demand a choice. You can't end what destroyed others by living like others. You can't speak victory over a battle you're secretly surrendering to. Your obedience is the weapon. Your purity is the shield. Your endurance is the proof. So if you've been wondering why life has been heavier for you than for the people around you, now you know. You weren't sent to carry the weight. You were sent to break it. And when you do, everything after you will walk lighter because you stood heavier. Chosen one. This is where everything changes. It's not enough to know you've been called. It's time to step into the role heaven has been preparing you for. What destroyed others will not destroy you, but only if you rise with the authority you've been given. Step 1. Identify the root, not the fruit. Most people fight symptoms. They deal with anger, but ignore the rejection behind it. They fight debt, but never confront the greed and lack of discipline fueling it. They pray about anxiety, but never address the fear controlling their choices. You can't end what you won't name. Heaven is calling you to cut the root, not just trim the branches. Step 2. Renounce agreement. Generational curses survive on silent agreements. Those internal vows like, "This is just who I am," or "It runs in my family." Every time you repeat those words, you give the curse a legal right to stay. Today, in the authority of Jesus, you must declare, "It ends with me." Speak it until every dark force hears it. Your words are weapons. Step 3. Close the open doors. You can't break a curse while entertaining the habits that keep it alive. That means walking away from relationships, environments, and compromises that feed the very thing you're trying to kill. Yes, it will cost you. But the price of freedom is always worth more than the comfort of chains. Step 4. Establish a new pattern. Breaking the old is only half the mission. You must build something in its place. That means walking in discipline, choosing integrity when no one is watching, protecting your prayer life, guarding your mind, and surrounding yourself with those who pull you higher, not lower. The enemy fears a consistent chosen one more than a loud one. Step 5. Seal it in the spirit. Every victory in the natural must be sealed in the spiritual. That means prayer, fasting, declaring the word of God over your life, and refusing to let your guard down. Remember, the enemy will try to re-enter through the same door you just closed. Stay watchful. And now, chosen one, listen closely. This is not a battle you win in one day. This is a stance you take for the rest of your life. But the moment you commit, heaven commits with you. The power that raised Jesus from the dead is the same power backing your mission. That means no curse, no demon, no generational pattern has the authority to outlast you unless you give it permission. So stand tall, speak boldly, live righteously. Every step you take in obedience is a blow to the pattern that tried to claim your bloodline. And when the history books of heaven record your life, they will write this about you. They ended what destroyed others. They stood where others fell. They made hell regret the day they were born. Listen to me, chosen one. You were never sent here to survive quietly. You were sent here as a living disruption to the plans of hell. Every setback you faced was an attempt to convince you otherwise. Every delay was designed to drain your faith. Every betrayal was calculated to break your resolve. But here you are, still standing, still breathing, still dangerous to the darkness. The enemy fears you because you are not fighting for yourself alone. You carry an assignment that spans generations. You are the one who will rewrite the story for your bloodline, the one who will break cycles so your children never fight the battles you had to fight, the one whose obedience will ripple through time and touch people you'll never even meet. And here's the truth. Heaven doesn't choose the most obvious. Heaven chooses the most willing. You may not feel qualified. You may still see your flaws and scars. But God saw every imperfection and still said, "I choose you." Because He knows it's not your strength that will end this. It's His power flowing through your surrendered life. This is your moment to stop questioning and start declaring. Say it now. It ends with me. Say it until it burns into the fabric of your spirit. Say it until every demon that's been watching you flees. Say it until the ground under your feet knows you are unshakable. From this day forward, you walk differently, you speak differently, you choose differently. Not because you are better than others, but because you have been assigned something greater than yourself. You are no longer reacting to life. You are enforcing the victory already won for you. And when the voices of doubt try to return, when the familiar pull of old patterns whispers your name, you will remember this. You were sent to end what destroyed others. That means the fight you are in is proof of your significance, not evidence of your defeat. So rise up, put on your spiritual armor, draw your sword, step into the territory that was promised to you before you were born. Walk into rooms like someone who carries the backing of heaven itself. Live in such a way that when the story of your life is told, it will sound like a warning to the darkness. Do not touch this one. They were sent to finish what heaven started. Listen to me, chosen one. There comes a point in your walk where going back is no longer an option. You have seen too much, felt too much, and survived too much to pretend you can go back to being who you were before. The illusion of comfort has been shattered. The taste of freedom is in your mouth. And no matter how much the enemy tries to seduce you with old traps, you can't unknow the truth. You can't unsee the chains that once held you. You can't unhear the call that pulled you out of darkness. And you can't ignore the fact that your presence alone now disturbs what once had peace in your absence. This is why the attacks have changed. At first, it was about distracting you. Now, it's about exhausting you. Because if the enemy can't stop you from starting, the next best thing is to make you too tired to finish. But you weren't built to quit. Heaven did not invest this much in you for you to collapse at the edge of the finish line. Think about it. Every sleepless night, every unanswered prayer, every season where it felt like heaven was silent. None of it was wasted. It was all recalibrating your spirit, teaching you how to fight in the dark without losing your way. You didn't know it then, but every time you kept walking without clarity, you were being forged into someone who could lead others through storms they can't yet see the end of. And let's be honest, your endurance is dangerous to hell, because when others quit, you stay. When others compromise, you hold the line. When others sell out, you stand on the truth, even if it costs you everything. That kind of loyalty to God can't be bought, manipulated, or broken. And that is exactly why you are here to end what destroyed them. Chosen one, you are not walking toward victory. You are walking as victory. The battle shifted the moment you decided you would not just survive this, but end it. For you and for every name tied to your bloodline. Hell knows it. Heaven knows it. And deep down, you know it too. So here's your confirmation. You are not losing. You're not late. You are not forgotten. You are exactly where you need to be on the very path that will make the curse bow and the blessing stand. You've reached a place where the pressure feels almost unbearable. Not because you are weak, but because the resistance knows its time is short. Every cycle you've broken, every stronghold you've shattered, has weakened what once felt unshakable. But the closer you get to full freedom, the more desperate the opposition becomes. This is why, lately, you've felt the weight intensify. Why it seems like the attacks are coming from every angle. Why conversations feel heavier, relationships feel strained, and even your own thoughts are tested. It is the last push from forces that have realized you are one step away from ending their reign. And here's the truth you must hold on to. This is not the time to retreat. This is the time to anchor deeper into your calling. This is the time to remind yourself that you were sent here to end what destroyed others, not to negotiate with it. If you turn back now, the chains you've already cracked will attempt to reform. But you won't, because you are not here by accident, because heaven has invested too much in you to let you fold under pressure, because the bloodline you carry has been crying out for someone to stand in this exact moment and not break. And you, chosen one, are the answer to that cry. Chosen one, hear me. This is the season where heaven marks the finish line and refuses to let you stop short. Every wound you've endured, every loss you've survived, every battle you've fought in silence, it has all been recorded, and heaven has judged it worthy of reward. You are not being refined for survival. You are being forged for rulership. That's why the fire has been relentless. That's why the pruning has been severe. Heaven does not prepare warriors for battles that don't matter. And your battle is the kind that shifts entire generations. You have to understand this. The chains you break now will not reform in the next generation. The curses you end here will not resurrect in your bloodline. The darkness you drive out will not return to reclaim what it once owned, because your obedience will stand as a legal decree in the spiritual realm. This is why you cannot see yourself as just getting through this season. You are executing heaven's verdict. You are serving notice to everything that has tormented your family line that its time is over. And when you speak, even in silence, the spiritual realm must obey. Chosen one, this is your moment. The waiting season is over. The hesitation has expired. The testing has accomplished its work. You are not stepping into the same territory you once left. You are stepping into ground that has been cleared, consecrated, and prepared for your feet. Every delay you endured was a divine recalibration. Every detour you survived was a hidden training field, and every no you received was a protection you could not see at the time. You've been refined in silence so that you could emerge in strength, not to announce yourself, but to announce the kingdom, not to reclaim your old identity, but to wear the mantle heaven has been tailoring for you in secret. It fits now because you've been shaped for it. From this day forward, you will walk with the authority of one who knows they were sent. You will speak with the weight of one whose words carry the backing of heaven. And you will live as a signpost that points to the fact that the God who called you is faithful to finish what he started. Chosen one, rise, because your rising is not just your victory. It is the liberation of everyone connected to you. Chosen one, listen carefully, because this is not encouragement. It is a decree. What once hunted you will no longer find you. What once intimidated you will now retreat at the sound of your name. And what once stole from you will now be required to return it sevenfold. You were not trained in secret, so you could return to silence. You were forged in fire, so you could walk into the very territory the enemy said you could never enter, and claim it as your inheritance. You are stepping into rooms your bloodline has never seen. You are breaking ground your ancestors only prayed for, and you are carrying keys that unlock more than doors. They unlock destinies. From this moment, the atmosphere around you changes, not because you have become someone new, but because you have finally stepped fully into who you have always been. The hesitation is gone. The fear has no claim. The enemy has no access. Heaven has signed your release papers. The chains are recorded as broken, and the sentence that once bound your family line is now overturned by divine authority. So walk forward, not as one who hopes, but as one who knows, because the God who sent you is still with you. And if he sent you to end what destroyed others, it's because he already saw you standing in the place of victory. Chosen one, there will be no return to who you were before this moment. You can't unsee what's been revealed to you. You can't unknow the truth heaven has burned into your spirit. And you can't step back into the chains you were born to break. From here on, you are a living verdict, evidence that what was meant to end you only confirmed your calling. Every step you take will testify that the curse stopped with you. Every breath you take will declare that heaven's agenda outruns the enemy's plan. You were not born for applause, but for impact. You were not assigned for safety, but for victory. And your victory will not be measured by the size of your comfort, but by the size of what you've dismantled in the unseen. When people look at you, they will wonder why your presence feels like both peace and confrontation. They will not understand that it's because you carry the final word in battles they can't even see. You're not here to fit into the narrative written by others. You're here to write the conclusion heaven always intended. So go. Stand where others fell. Speak where others stayed silent. Build where others abandoned. And remember, what destroyed them will not touch you, because you were sent to destroy it first. The earth has been waiting for you to rise. And now you have. Chosen one. This is the season where proof will speak louder than perception. People have built entire opinions about you without ever knowing the truth. They've mistaken your silence for weakness, your patience for passivity, and your isolation for exile. But what they didn't know is that heaven hid you for a reason. You weren't buried, you were planted. And now, what was growing in the dark is about to break the surface. This is not a gentle reveal. It's not a slow introduction. It's a sudden emergence that will feel like a divine interruption to everyone watching. Your obedience has been recorded in heaven. Your endurance has been weighed and found complete. And now, the stage of your life is shifting from the hidden place to the high place. Not for your ego, but for the mission. Do not shrink back when the doors swing open. Do not apologize for the authority you carry. And do not waste breath trying to convince those who will never celebrate you. Your assignment is not to win their approval, but to finish what heaven started through you. The curse ends here. The pattern ends here. The lie ends here. From this day forward, your life will be the evidence that heaven intervenes, that the chosen cannot be stopped, and that when God says it's time, nothing in hell can delay it. Chosen one, there is a moment in every divine mission where the command from heaven is no longer whispered, it is declared. That moment is now. This is not a suggestion. This is not an option. This is a royal decree sealed in the courts of eternity. You will end what destroyed others, no matter how deep the roots, no matter how long the pattern has existed, no matter how many generations have bowed to it, your life has been chosen as the line it cannot cross. Do not underestimate the power of this assignment. It is not about personality. It is not about talent. It is about spiritual authority purchased through your obedience, your tears, your hidden sacrifices, and your refusal to break under pressure. The same forces that celebrated the downfall of those before you will recognize your name and tremble, because you are not standing in your own strength. You are standing as an extension of the one who cannot fail. From this moment forward, every move you make carries the weight of prophecy. Every step is an act of war against the darkness that thought it could last forever. And every victory will echo in the lives of those who come after you. Heaven has spoken, hell has heard, and you, chosen one, are the living proof that the assignment will be completed. Chosen one, the time for hesitation is over. You have been prepared in secret, refined in fire, and tested in ways no one else has seen. Everything in your life, the pain, the delays, the betrayals, was not random. It was divine conditioning. The forces that once hunted you underestimated one thing: your capacity to rise stronger after every strike. They assumed you would surrender like the others. They assumed the weight would crush you. But they did not account for the fact that heaven's hand was on you the entire time. Now you carry something unshakable, a certainty that does not need approval, a clarity that does not need applause. You no longer seek permission to step into your assignment. You walk in it by right. And as you move forward, everything connected to your bloodline will feel the shift. Curses will weaken. Patterns will fracture. Chains will dissolve without warning. The very ground beneath you will become hostile to anything that tried to bury you. Where others fell, you will stand. Where others broke, you will build. Where others were silenced, you will speak with the weight of heaven in your voice. You are not just closing a chapter, you are ending an entire book, written in pain and beginning a new one, written in fire and promise. This is the point where your story stops being survival and becomes victory. And once you cross this threshold, there's no going back. Chosen one, hear this and let it settle deep into your spirit. This is not a suggestion. This is a decree. You have reached the line that generations before you could not cross. You have touched the threshold where heaven's will collides with earth's resistance. And heaven has decided you will not be stopped. Every assignment sent against you is now without power. Every shadow that followed you has lost its right to stay. The authority you carry is no longer in training. It is active, it is recognized, it is irreversible. This is why the warfare has been so relentless. The moment you step into this stage, you are no longer a threat in theory. You are a threat in motion. And motion terrifies the enemy because motion means manifestation. You will see the fruit of your endurance. You will witness with your own eyes the unraveling of the systems that sought to cage you. Not in secret, but openly, so that those who doubted will have no choice but to acknowledge what heaven already knew. Your voice will carry weight. Your presence will shift atmospheres. Not because of titles, not because of applause, but because the oil on your life cannot be replicated or stolen. And here's the truth they never wanted you to discover. You are not just breaking something. You are becoming something. You are the living evidence that God still raises up people to confront the impossible and win. This is the moment where history bends around your obedience. And once you move from this point, the story changes for everyone connected to you. Forever. Chosen one. This is the part where the veil lifts completely, where every unanswered question, every silent night, every tear you thought was wasted, comes into focus. The delay was never denial. The silence was never absence. It was preparation for this exact hour. You were not being punished. You were being positioned. You were not forgotten. You were being forged. Every force that thought it had time to wear you down is now out of time. Every scheme designed to keep you circling the same mountain is now dismantled. Your steps from this day forward will carry a different authority, not because the terrain has changed, but because you have. This is the end of what destroyed others. This is the dismantling of what was allowed to run free for generations. And it ends, not quietly, not hidden, but in full view of those who swore it could not be done. You will not just walk into your purpose, you will establish it. You will not just survive the battle, you will define it. When they speak of this generation, your obedience will be part of the testimony. So here's the charge. Do not lower your voice. Do not dim your light. Do not negotiate with what heaven has already sentenced to death. Step into every room as the one who was sent, not the one who arrived by chance. The chains that once defined your family line will now be a story of freedom. The curses that were once whispered will now be silenced forever. And the name God calls you will outweigh every label you were given by man. Chosen one, the weight you carry is not a burden, it is proof. Proof that heaven trusts you with territory others could not hold. Proof that your life is not a reaction to the enemy's moves, it is the fulfillment of heaven's strategy. Stand up, walk forward. Do not look back. What tried to end you will now serve as the evidence of why you were sent. This is your hour. This is your confirmation. And this right